It was a dark and stormy night, and the old mansion on the hill stood looming in the distance, its windows glowing dimly in the downpour. Detective Jack Anderson had received a call from the owner of the mansion, Mr. Robert J. Stone, who reported a break-in and theft of valuable artifacts from his extensive collection. Jack arrived at the scene shortly thereafter, ready to unravel the mystery that lay before him. The mansion was grand and imposing, with a long driveway leading up to its entrance. The front door was wide open, and Jack could see muddy footprints leading inside. He cautiously made his way in, flashlight in hand, and was greeted by a grand entrance hall with marble floors and a sweeping staircase leading to the upper floors. As he explored the mansion, Jack discovered that the thieves had been careful not to disturb the rest of the house. They had bypassed the living quarters and made their way directly to the study, where Mr. Stone kept his most valuable possessions. The study was a mess, with papers strewn everywhere and the safe cracked open. The collection of rare artifacts that Mr. Stone had so carefully curated was gone. Jack knew that this was no ordinary burglary. The thieves had known exactly what they were looking for and where to find it. He set about gathering evidence, dusting for fingerprints and analyzing the muddy footprints left behind. He interviewed the staff, but they had seen and heard nothing out of the ordinary. The storm raged on outside, and Jack could feel the tension mounting as he struggled to piece together the clues. He found a scrap of paper on the floor of the study, with a list of names and numbers written in a neat hand. He had a hunch that this was important, but he couldn't quite figure out why. As the hours ticked by, Jack grew increasingly frustrated. He knew that he was missing something, but he couldn't quite put his finger on what it was. It wasn't until the storm finally abated and the sun began to rise that he saw the light. He revisited the scrap of paper he had found earlier and realized that the names on the list were not just random numbers. They were dates, in a specific sequence. He quickly checked his watch and realized that the next date on the list was that very day. He rushed outside and hailed a taxi, telling the driver to take him to the address next to the final name on the list. He arrived just in time to see a man carrying a large wooden box out of the building. He approached the man and asked to see what was inside the box. The man hesitated, but Jack showed him his badge and explained that he was investigating a theft. The man relented and opened the box, revealing the stolen artifacts inside. Jack breathed a sigh of relief. The mystery had been solved, and the stolen goods returned to their rightful owner. He arrested the thief and brought him to justice. As he drove back to the mansion, Jack couldn't help but marvel at how the mystery had unfolded. It had taken all of his detective skills to unravel the clues, but in the end, it had been a simple piece of paper that had led him to the thief. He arrived back at the mansion to find Mr. Stone waiting for him, grateful for the return of his treasures. Jack handed over the thief and the stolen goods and turned to leave. As he walked out of the mansion, he realized that he had forgotten to ask Mr. Stone one crucial question. How had the thief known exactly where to find the artifacts in the study? Jack made a mental note to ask Mr. Stone about it later, but for now, he was content in the knowledge that justice had been served and the mystery had been solved.